Have you ever wondered what it would be like to build a house in Mexico? Do you have the questions like, what does it cost? What does it cost to buy a lot? What are the construction costs per square foot? What are all the things I have to do if I actually want to build a house from scratch in Mexico? Well, you've come to the right channel, you've come to the right video. Don't leave, because today I'm going to show you, going to be touring you around one of our construction sites where we are building a dream home right here in Mexico. I'm going to go through the construction site, talk a little bit about the construction materials, the process here in Mexico, what you can expect, what your expectations should really be. Should they be very high? Should they be low? Should they be somewhere in between? I'm going to go through the costs of land right now in Bucerias, going to go through the construction costs, and then all the other things you've got to keep in mind when you buy a property here in Mexico, where that's your closing costs, or all the little extra things you're going to have to do before you move in, because I think a lot of people just jump into it here without really investigating or understanding everything that goes into building a house or buying a house here in Mexico. I am Joel, the accidental retiree. Moved to Mexico 12 years ago for 1 year with my family, and 12 years I kind of accidentally retired, but I'm still kind of in the game, because as a retiree, I still have to figure out how I'm going to actually make some money to pay for our retirement here in Mexico. So in upcoming videos, we are going to be showing you my favorite investment opportunities here, specifically in Bucerias market, how we kind of like balance everything. So from our real estate investments to our equity investments, and how we kind of make it all work so that we can, retire here in Mexico. Anyways, without further ado, we're gonna go to the property, go to the construction site, check it out. So don't leave. I want you to stay to the end of this video, because I'm gonna answer all those questions you have about what it's like to build and buy a home here in Mexico. Let's go. Anyways, we are on the Upper East Side of Bucerias. This is where all the action is now, where all the future action is going to be. This is where we have kind of put down our stakes, so to speak. We built a house a couple years ago. Totally happy with living in this community. It's very neighborly, right? So it's all local people who have lived here most of their life, if not generations, right? So multiple generations. And the neighborhood itself is really coming together. Lots of cool changes, lots of properties being improved, and here is the property. Let's go check it out. All right, so let's walk into the property. Because a lot of properties in Mexico are just like this. They're not exactly straight. You can find a very, like a square, a very rectangular lot, but in this case it's kind of a weird shape, but we worked with it, so it's kind of neat. You come into the property and you got this whole nice wide section. The side of their house here has a big sliding door window that opens up to it, so they can fill all this area in with some plants, like potted plants, have some seating. Outdoor shower area, which we're still gonna discuss what we're gonna do there. Gonna maybe make that a feature. And you walk into the home here, which is a nice space. Big kitchen area, which is basically based on the kitchen I have in my house. So I'm gonna throw in a shot of that right here. Lots of room. Like, this is an amazing chef kitchen. Beautiful bar area where you can have your friends and family over. Into the back corner here, we built a half bathroom. And then in this area here, we can see in my house what we've done is we created this like glass wall, and that becomes the office space. So they're kind of using that. You have your living room, dining, whatever you want to make this here, and it all opens up into this beautiful courtyard. So first and foremost, they got their pool. And then you have this whole area under here, which is outside but covered, and that becomes your indoor space. So really taking advantage of the tall walls, and we built this amazing planter in here so they can just fill that up with greens. So you can just imagine So rather than making this area, jump right in here, full ceiling, we brought this ceiling back, the roof back, and then opened up this entire space so that they could actually make this one big garden. So you can just imagine how beautiful this is going to look when, I'm just going to step back here, when all this is full of plants, everything is opened up, you got your beautiful living area in there, and you can hang out here, by the pool, eat outside, etc., etc. I love this plan. As a matter of fact, I bought a lot in a town called Valle de Banderas, and I'm pretty well going to rebuild this exact same house there because it fits perfectly on the lot. Bedrooms. Bedrooms are basically identical. We have 2 bedrooms to the back. And this is kind of traditional hacienda style. So you can see that the living area is separated from the bedroom areas, but it's all connected with this covered area. And haciendas were very similar. So you would have kind of like these covered areas, and then you'd have bedrooms in the back or bedrooms along the side, depending on how big the property is. But in this case, we put the 2 bedrooms in the back, and they're a nice size, big enough for king size beds. And then you walk to the back here, and you have this whole area for closet or a little desk area. I mean, there's lots of opportunity in here to put maybe like a little desk here. So you could have like a little office space in here if you wanted to have that. Bathrooms are really nice size with a beautiful size shower, a nice size sink area. And here was the other thing we decided to do. Well, we don't really need all this extra space for the bedroom, so we did something very similar as what we did in the planting area. Oh, there's me, didn't want to do that. I'm gonna flip this around. We just opened this up, so we're open to the sky. Just to see here, there's the sky. Woo. And so now, basically, in the bedrooms, actually that made me dizzy. In the bedrooms, we have this area here, which will have a glass door. And you basically have a little atrium, so it adds a little bit of extra light into your bedroom and a place where you can put additional planting. So I'm not going to go through the other bedroom because they're pretty well identical, just mirror images. This bedroom's pretty sweet. You open your bedroom doors and there's the pool, and you can see all the way to the man door there, and you can just envision that whole space filled with plants. And yeah, I'm really loving this house, actually. I really love this plan. I love my house where we are right now, but it's big. And now that kids have moved away and everything else, we've got a lot of extra space. But anyways, we're good there for the next little bit. But eventually I could kind of see Jillian and I don't want to call it downsizing. This is still a pretty nice sized property, but moving into something like this with just, 2 bedrooms, a really nice living space, lots of plants, room for the cats and dogs, so to speak. All right, let's do one last tour of the house here. Actually, they're just doing the concrete, so I can't walk through there, but there's a pass-through there that leads to basically more storage. That's their laundry room, so lots of space. This was well thought out. After years of building here, you kind of figure these things out. And if you stay to the end of the video, we're going to break this down when I'm back home. I'm going to break down the costs. I'm going to break down what to do, what not to do. And that is super important before you go in full gas on something like this. But anyways, this is the little room, but it's actually not very little at all. It's actually pretty big. Maybe it's about 70 square feet. Maybe 65 square feet, but lots of room for your laundry and other things to store it. Now, I'm always thinking, and I tell people this is important, think about the future, right? So what they've done here is we've added a set of stairs to the rooftop. So now, in the future, they can expand. They could also do it in a way where eventually they could build a door they could build a door down there, blocking their main floor living area. And let's say they wanted to build some rental units up here. We have all this space up here to build rental units. So you could do a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom in the back. You could do 2 studios in the back. You could do like a really nice 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom here, or again, 2 more studios, and then bang, you've got rental income. You would then, build some privacy walls here, so they're not looking into your space. But all of a sudden, you've got a way to earn money to basically pay for your retirement here in Mexico. Now, what does this cost? That is the $1 million question. Okay, you got to stay to the end of this video. Well, not even the end, because I'm going to go through it in a little bit, but really quick. Once they build a second level on here, you actually have ocean views. I'm going to throw the drone up. Well, the drone's up right now. I'm just going to do that when I'm home, but we're editing now, and look at the views, right? So as soon as they build a second floor, from that rooftop of that second floor, you are going to get these beautiful views. And then, you know what? If they wanted to add a third floor, you just got to go to the municipality and get the permission to do that. And I'm going to explain that in the last part of this video, like how does that all work and how does that all happen? How can you make that happen? But inevitably, they could have their home downstairs and rent out several apartments up here, earning income to pay for their retirement in Mexico. Sounds like a lot of money, hey? Well, it is and it isn't. And that is next in this video, so don't go away. And make sure while you're waiting, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and toggle that notification bell. Oh my God, look at those views. And you're gonna get more videos like this. If you're interested in moving to Mexico for a low-cost environment so you can travel and do all the things you want to do, it is still one of the top countries in the world to move to for many, many reasons, which I'm gonna have to do a whole nother video on. All right, let's go back to my place and we're gonna break this down.
Welcome back, everybody. Anyways, back to Casa La Familia Goralski, and let's get into it. Everyone wants to know, what is the cost to build a house in Mexico? It's the number one question I always get, and I'm always a little hesitant to answer that question because numbers can change. There's so many factors. Depends on the contractor, depends on the finishing. But I'm going to give you an example of, let's say, a base level of finishing. Like I've showed you the kitchen that you saw in this video, my house. Pulido concrete floors, that's like polished concrete floors, white stucco walls, a nice exterior door, a rolling garage door, and everything finished in kind of like just intermediate finishing. You're looking at around $130 to $150 per square foot of construction costs. And what that's going to get you is a house you can literally move into, but you're going to be missing a few things, right? So here's all the other things you have to plan for. You're going to have all your window coverings, okay? You're going to have your appliances on top of that. You obviously going to have all your furnishing, your washer and dryer, which I guess falls in the line of appliances. A pool is included in that number, so that's actually very important. So like a basic size pool, like the one you saw in the video, all the equipment in the pool room will be included, but a heater will not be included. So a heater for the pool will be extra. All your gardening will be extra on top of that. So those are the things that you have to consider. From the city standpoint, you're going to have to get yourself an electrical contract for a new build. So you're going to have the cost of the meter, which is going to run you around 10 to 15,000 pesos to get that application done. You're going to have to usually start and apply for a new water contract, especially with a new build. And again, that could be somewhere around 10,000 pesos. You're going to have to get your Wi-Fi. So that is running anywhere from 600 to 1,000 pesos a month, depending on how quick you want it. So those are just kind of like the basics on top of your building costs of, like, let's say up to $150 per square foot of what you end up building. But on top of that, and a lot of people forget about this or don't even really realize it, you also have your fideicomiso. And what is a fideicomiso, Joel? Well, a fideicomiso is essentially a bank trust, and it's the way that you actually hold title to your property. Essentially, a trust is set up, and you and your family or whoever you want to put on the title become the beneficiaries of that trust. As an antiquated system here in Mexico, they've been trying to do away with it for years, but there's a whole industry behind it, and it's absolutely going nowhere. But it is super, super safe. Everyone has used the trust system here for many, many years. That's how we have owned the majority of our property. So there's no, and you can do all the research on your line, and it's essentially you got your deed. So no worries about that, but it adds a layer of cost. That trust, as well as the rest of your closing costs, including stamp taxes, the various fees you have to pay the notary, you should be budgeting around 7 to 8% of your purchase price. Now here's a little pro tip. If you go out and buy your land, and that's the thing I was going to get to right next. For example, this piece of land here is 265 square feet or 265 square meters, so it's like around 2,800 square feet. You're looking at around anywhere from 10 to 12,000 pesos per square meter here in Bucerias. So that kind of puts the average price of a lot on the Upper East Side at around 150 grand. Okay, so once you buy that lot, if you buy that lot first and do your building contract second, you're not going to have to pay all those taxes on top of the building contract. You're just going to have to pay all your closing costs on the land, which is going to be a lot less, $150,000. So that's a little pro tip. Close on the land first, get that done, get the land in your name. And that's also a better way to do it, so you'll minimize your risk. If the builder has the land in his or her name, plus they're doing all the construction on top of that, essentially they own the land until such time that they pass title to you. So a way for you to have a little bit more security and a little bit more control is get the land purchased in advance and do the building contract separately. So number one, that's going to save you a bunch of money on your closing costs, and number two, you're going to have more control over your asset because the property and all the improvements are going to be in your name from the start of construction to the end of construction. So that's where I'm going to end things today. I actually was thinking about this as I was finishing the video, and we are kind of getting along in the video, and there's a whole bunch of other things I want to talk about, and I can do a full video on all the mistakes people make when they decide to buy a property in Mexico. I want to say it's hilarious. It's hilarious on some parts, but it's also sad on others because it really comes down to expectations and understanding what you're getting into when you come to Mexico. If you come here with the right attitude and you know exactly what to expect, you're going to probably have a pretty good time. But if you come here with your expectations that everything's going to work like it does at home, you're going to get chewed up and you're going to get spit right out, and you're going to hate the entire process, and we don't want that for you. So stay tuned for that video. That one will come up next, and that'll be like the top mistakes people make when they buy or build a house or property here in Mexico. But I hope you like this one, everybody, and please give your comments below. We're going to be also launching the travel videos here very soon, so we're really, really stoked about that. Because one of the things is, like, we're retired. We sold our business. We winding down all of our projects. So now we have all this extra time on our hand, but we have to make our investments work for us so that it could actually pay for the things we want to do when we're retired. And we're going to be doing a lot more videos on our little secrets and our little hacks on how we move to Mexico, retire to Mexico without millions and millions of dollars. Like, I'm not a very rich guy, but I'm very, very frugal. I'm very, very smart with my money, and I'm able to kind of like make it all work. And the biggest reason I can make it work is I live in a low-cost environment. On that note, everybody, thanks for listening to this video. And I'm going back to the old sign-off. Nos vemos hasta luego and adios desde Bucerias, Mexico. Ay, ay, ay. Adios. Hey, Boo. Hi, Boo. Hi, Boo.